Handling issues properly in product development and system tests is very important. So this topic talks about problem management. Problem management is a process of handling issues from the initial report to the resolution in the end. It might not really feel like a process because usually you have to deal with many individual issues and problems in various phases. However, every issue goes through a specific process, or you can also say workflow, and the management of all project and product related issues can be viewed as a process displayed here on this slide. So first let's talk about the issue characteristics. The term issue is used here very deliberately. This is because it should document any product related work. And in the context of problem management, this can be an error, a defect, or a bug. Or to be precise, initially it can be also the suspicion of it. So you're maybe not sure if it is really a bug or any problem, but you have to document it to initiate the investigation of it. And it can be also related to the product, so the software hardware itself, or it can affect the specification of it. So that's also an important distinction. There are some information of an issue that should be available as a minimum, like a summary, description, priority, severity, who to assign the ticket, and the status. But besides those, there are of course many more possible attributes and information, and everyone who worked within that area knows very well that often there are too much, and when a lot of people are involved in handling issues, the amount of data around an issue, so the metadata, easily explodes, and it is a challenge to keep them at an essential amount. But at the same time, that's very important to not get overwhelmed and slow the workflow down. There is a very similar challenge of balancing the amount of information when it comes to the status model of issues. So that reflects the phase an issue is currently in and has to go through from creation and resolution. And the bare minimum is the 3 status shown here. So you create an issue, then you work on it, and at some point it's resolved and you close the issue. But in the real world, of course, the project, the organization, the team or individuals, they come up with more than those 3 status due to various reasons. And here again, it's a challenge to not overcomplicate things and simplify it as good as possible, but at the same time also have the flexibility so that the workflow and the status model supports the processes and the structure of the project and the team. Let's talk about issue screening and prioritization. The issue screening is a process of reviewing new incoming issues, and that gets more important with an increasing number of issues that the project has. And the purpose is to ensure that all new issues are collected and forwarded properly. Also, if they have high priority and severity, they should be handled according to that. The issue prioritization is, of course, important so that within the project the right issues are handled at the right time. And the severity, on the other hand, that reflects the impact of an issue to the product. So it may be that an issue has a low impact, but due to other reasons, the priority is important because it needs to be fixed till the next release. So there are basic groups and buckets for prioritization. So usually you have something like a blocker that has to be resolved as soon as possible, also with probably some rapid release. And then you have from high, medium to low priority other issues that can be handled in the next or one of the next regular releases. And similar with severity, so you could have critical issues where the whole system breaks down, or you have a safety or security related issue that therefore needs very high attention and immediate solutions. And others from minor, trivial or major issues could affect whole major features or smaller issues or cosmetic topics. And yeah, those groups should reflect the type of issue and its severity. The next step usually is the pre-analysis and the triage. During the pre-analysis, an issue gets checked to make sure that the following proper analysis by a developer or some expert is possible. So the checks there are usually that you ask some questions. So if the description is first of all understandable and clear, does it have all the needed information, or is probably a timestamp missing? And whether the relevant information is available, for example, the software that was used. And is the data that is needed for proper analysis available, like any kinds of logs or videos, traces, etc. And within a system of several components and features, the issue should be then forwarded to one of the responsibles for those specific component or feature. This should be also done obviously if like all the checks pass. And yeah, also the result of the pre-analysis is to have a clear reasoning why this specific responsible should look at the issue. So that's also very important. And then depending of the organization and how the team is structured, the triage also could take resource availabilities of specific individuals or teams into account. Once issues are forwarded to the analysis or sent back to the originator, they need certain tracking. For example, critical issues that need an immediate resolution also need a very close tracking to make sure that this resolution happens. Other low priority issues, on the other hand, might not be tracked that closely or not tracked at all, probably. And the monitoring takes actually all issues in all phases into account and might include some automatic checks related to metadata of the issue, like the time they are open or other certain metrics. And of course, it can also happen in the day-to-day business that issues might need some escalation. And this could be due to the fact that no one feels responsible for taking over the analysis and the resolution, or that there is a conflict with release timelines, etc.